Hey guys, your boy Mazoku-Sensei, and today I'm doing a video. I saw, scrolling through my timeline on YouTube, and I saw this video by a guy named 𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐻𝐿, and it was saying about like what happened to Paul Phoenix and why nobody plays Paul Phoenix in Tekken 8. I myself am a Paul main. This is like my second time maining Paul since Tekken 3. Tekken 4, I was kind of leaning towards him, but I went to Steve Fox. But I just wanted to hear somebody's opinion. I'm very big on YouTube and like scrolling through this on my second account, like not this account, but my second account. I like scroll there constantly. But with that being said, I wanted to check this video out and see, what is their opinion, and let's kind of get into it. Let's see what they're talking about here.
What happened to Paul Phoenix? Going from consistently being one of the most popular characters in every Tekken game to this. Paul was the #1 most played character for almost all of Tekken 7's lifetime, so it's insane to see him currently sitting in the very middle of the pack, sitting as the 15th most popular character. I honestly would have been surprised if he was outside of the top 5, let alone this. So what happened here? Why did such a popular and beloved character seemingly vanish in Tekken 8? Let's find out. Since the original release of Tekken in 1994, Paul has appeared in every Tekken game to date, and his popularity has rivaled that of the series protagonists.
First off, can we talk about Phoenix Smasher being that freaking strong in the OG days? Yes, that was the reason why you play Paul.
You can't have Tekken without Paul. Throughout the life of Tekken 7, Paul sat as the most popular character online for various reasons. The nature of the character was always very enticing for newcomers. Easy toolkit to understand, very simple to pick up, and giving a big reward with it.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, that whole easy toolkit is the reason why I played him in 8. with Miguel not being in the game, I was like, who is another player character I can play? And I first was gonna go to Jack, because I played Jack as well in Tekken 7. He was like my second. And then I started playing Jack in 8, and I was like, I don't like how he's playing right now. I'm not a huge fan of it. Yeah. So I said, well, let me try somebody else. And I went to Paul. I don't know why. I just said Paul. Immediately went to Paul. And I could finally do certain moves I could not do in 7. And that was also one of the reasons why I didn't play him in 7. I had a friend of mine whose name is Future Beast. He's in our community here in Altamont in Florida, and he plays an amazing Paul 7 when we were playing Paul in Tekken 7 when we were playing in locals. And I was like, man, he makes me want to play Paul. And I tried picking him up, and it was just like I couldn't do a lot of his main combos, which intimidated me, which a lot of was the quarter circle forward one, quarter circle forward, one quarter circle, like you had to do like 4 times. And I'm like, that's an optimal combo. Ooh, I couldn't do it. I tried it. It just intimidated me. So I just did not play Paul. And granted, with all the other fundamentals and stuff like that, but going into Tekken 8, it just felt like he felt right for me now. And plus, as you can kind of read the significant damage, he does big boy damage.
The signature damage. What's not to like? His only weakness was his subpar poking, but let's be honest, do you think the average Tekken player cares at all about poking? Probably not. Paul was a consistent high tier throughout Tekken 7, and there are plenty of other easy characters who are far better, so we can roll out his popularity just being because he was overpowered. People just love this guy. So surely this legion of Paul players who are leading Tekken 7 would be excited to see Paul in the new game, and you already know the answer is no. Hell, even I've barely played him in Tekken 8, despite him being one of my mains in 7. So
you have failed him, my friend. I'm playing stop. But nah, yeah, Paul's a lovable character, man. I hate how his whole downfall has been in Tekken series. Like, he went from being like a formidable fighter from like 1 to 2, and in 3 it was like, yeah, he beat Ogre, but then in 4 he's a has-been and he's a joke. Into 5 he is now nothing but a joke character. Like, what are you doing? Like, I hated that. Like, every part of his storyline is him now trying to get money. Like, granted that, I guess, since he is the ideal of the American, I guess, some of us are, chasing the bag constantly, but it's just like, that's his storyline now. He has so much more. Like, what happened to him chasing Kazuya? Like, what happened to him trying to beat him? Like, he has such an ambition to become the best. where did that go? Like, it's all gone now. It's just, hey, we're just trying to chase the bag. Me and Law try to chase the bag. And Law is another perfect example. Let's not get on Law real quick. We could have a whole debate on Law. But if you look at Law compared to him in 7 to 8, Law is jacked. Law is like everything. But that's besides the point. Let's get back into the video.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Paul's new design. His new hair has been divisive, to say the least. Okay. Most people hate it, and it's pretty easy to see why. It certainly looks goofy, and a huge number of community figureheads and content creators have been quick to say that the hair is the sole reason for his drop in popularity. And if I'm being honest, I didn't buy that. The hair is silly.
Hey man, look, Harada does a lot of things with Tekken that makes, like, it's kind of like, well, this is lore within Tekken. So, like, I remember him writing or saying something about, like, the reason why he made Paul's hair is this way is because, like, in every 4th Tekken game, his hair is going to be like that, which I don't know if he's going to be around for Tekken 12. That's kind of crazy. But to be like, okay, like, it's a hair change. If his hair was down like how it was in 4, would you guys complain? Or are we complaining about the fact that it's a Karen top? Like, it looks something like a... I need to see your manager type ish. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the nature, but I care less about the hair. You know, maybe that's just me. And I'm, again, not being biased as a Paul player, but like if hair is the reason why you do not play a character, I'm not saying that the way you play fighting games is not justified. It's just, I don't know.
Sure, but you can change it very easily. Literally by pressing 2 buttons in the select screen. And Paul's classic look has never looked better. I guess the only thing you can't change is the UI, but I feel like...
Actually, I will agree on one thing. Paul's Tekken 7 outfit in Tekken 8, he looks so much better, and that's like a pause, but like, he looks better. Like, his character design looks better. He looks more, and I hate to say it, more human. If you look at him in Tekken 7 compared to Tekken 8, Tekken 7 looks like a video game character. Tekken 8 looks like a guy I could see at the bar. Like, legit.
Saying thousands of people are dropping the character because of the tiny head next to the health bar is a bit of a stretch. I immediately thought that there had to be more of a reason than this, so I decided to investigate further. I asked myself, why did I stop playing the character? I didn't consciously make the decision to drop this guy in Tekken 8, I just kind of naturally gravitated towards other characters. It certainly wasn't because of the hair.
Come on, man, 𝐷evil𝐻𝐿. You wanted to play top tier. That's it. That's all you want.
So why was it? To solve this mystery, I decided to play Tekken 8 Paul. A lot of him. And after getting chainsawed, 𝐴𝑍𝑢-𝑠EＮ'd, and 𝐿𝑒𝑥plosioned a lot, I feel like I figured it out. Paul has been left behind by the developers, at least compared to some other popular characters. As weird as this might sound, through playing Paul, I didn't feel like I was playing Tekken 8. It just felt like I was playing Paul, the same as he's always been. Sure, he has some fancy new heat engagers, a couple new moves, even a new stance. He certainly has new stuff, but I just couldn't shake the feeling that it was just Paul, the same as he's always been. I feel like coming into the Tekken 8 system, Paul was among the worst to transition. He just doesn't feel as flashy as almost every other character in the game, and while that might not matter from a competitive perspective, for casuals who make up the bulk of the online player base, it absolutely does. Sure, he has the Death Fist. That's always been a pretty flashy and satisfying move to hit, but I just don't feel like it's enough in a game where all these characters are doing all these crazy new combos and crazy new moves. Paul's kit also feels pretty...
Because Paul is like the only character that still feels human. And Law, if you look at Law, people like Law too, his kit's not that flashy. You know what I'm saying? It's just Law's kit is very much Bruce Lee influenced to me, and that's kind of one of the reasons why a lot of people play him. But if you look at him like a Brian, you look at a Jin, a 𝐷evil𝐻𝐿, you know, all those characters have flashy elements, is because they're damn near anime characters now. They're damn near anime characters, and that to me is probably the reason why a natural character like him would probably be not as flashy. I feel like he's a legacy character. He's one of those people like, hey, if you play Tekken since Tekken 1, he's your guy. He still has some of those 1-2 pokes, also, you know, some of those just legacy moves. So if you enjoy older Tekken, he's probably your guy. But everybody else obviously has been updated and, you know, be more flashy and more fun. I love Brian's kit now. Brian looks fun. I just love how we're on him right now. But Brian looks fun. Like a lot of his, pulse ups and stuff like that. Just it does showcase that some of these characters can be very flashy. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's mainly because Paul's a legacy character. He's a guy who's going to be the same way from Tekken 1 all the way to when he stops being a character in Tekken. And yeah, that may be outdated, but for some of those people like myself who maybe came from that older era, I like that. And like I said, I mained him in 3, I played him in 2, I played him a bit in 4, but like he was one of those characters that no matter what, he was going to stay the same. And maybe that might be one thing, but I don't know.
Outdated. He still has a legacy 10-frame punish from Tekken 1, just a simple 1-2. Lots of his other basic moves feel like this. They just feel old and, again, outdated. And again, while that doesn't matter from a competitive standpoint, it makes casual...
I can agree with that down forward too, man. Like, granted, it goes under some stuff, but like, the fact that it tilts you a little bit instead of like launching like everybody else's move, that is frustrating.
Is less likely to choose him. Every character is doing crazy stuff now. Crazy new effects and animations, crazy new overpowered options and strings, and then there's Paul, who is strong, don't get me wrong, but he's still Paul. Pretty much the same as he's always been. Sorry to interrupt the video, but if you guys are enjoying this and want to support me, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm not big enough to get sponsors yet, so this is the best way you can support my dreams of hopefully one...
I got you, G. I got you. Hopefully, if you see this, you subscribe to me too. I'm doing this on my personal channel, by the way. It's not my actual channel. So
one day doing this as a job. It's free to do, and you can always change your mind later. Sorry again for the interruption, and let's get back to the video. People who played him in 7, like...
Also, I'm gonna plug myself. If you're enjoying the video and you're enjoying my opinions, feel free to do the same thing.
Me, we're probably drawn to other cool characters who feel amazing and feel like you're really playing Tekken 8. Not to mention that Paul's playstyle is pretty basic, and that makes the character very hard, especially against all the crazy stuff going on in this game. Looking for a counter hit with down forward 2 and backsway 4 and applying basic 50-50s is just less fun for the average player than all this other crazy stuff. The character is simple to a fault, and that's just making him not only difficult, but a lot less popular. Combine all this stuff with him essentially having nothing to do in the story mode, and it's pretty easy to see why newcomers are just not picking this character. Why would they? Obviously, I don't have data on this, but I wouldn't be surprised if only like 1 in every 50 or maybe even 100 new players actually decided to pick Paul. Again, take all this with a grain of salt, this is pure speculation. For the older players watching, take away your legacy bias for a sec. If you are brand new to the series, would you really pick Paul after seeing all the other crazy things these other characters are doing in this game? It's impossible to say for...
Probably not, and he has a point. I do have legacy biased, so... like everybody else is going to pick a Reina and Devil Jin, a Jin. I mean, Jin is literally the anime protagonist. So I could see where he's coming from for that. So, yeah.
Sure, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't. This is a new era of Tekken. While Tekken 5 to 7 were mostly the same, just focusing on refining small things, Tekken 8 is a whole new game with tons of new systems. And the more I think about it, the more I feel like Paul is still kind of trapped in those older games. Again, that's not to say that he doesn't benefit from the new systems. The heat system is pretty great for him. The empowered death fists are crazy, but something about him just feels slightly outdated by Tekken 8 standards. It's hard to say exactly what. Maybe they would have benefited by giving him new, flashier animations on his generic tools or something. I'm really not sure what the solution here is, but the player data definitely agrees with me. Something feels off, far more than just his hair. Maybe some new players who have no previous attachment to the character can let us know how they feel about him. That'd be pretty interesting. But now...
I will say, I feel like he is difficult to play against some characters because, granted, we have, like, I want to say minimum pokes, but, like, I don't have a lot of moves that can, I want to say, get out of a certain situation. This is just me from, like, playing certain people. I have a friend of mine, Supersonic. He plays King, and, like... there are a lot of times where he has certain moves that he'll do to me, and I'm like, okay, so how do I get in? How can I get in? I normally either back 4, I'll hit down 4, 3, 4 to kind of do a crush. Sometimes knee, as much as down 4, 4 is like a really good, like, do it again. I feel like a lot of his really cool moves, to me, like his down 1+2 is like launch punishable, but it's a cool move, and it's like it's literally Fang's smack, like it's that quick. But like he doesn't get launch punished for that. If I do it, I'm launch punished. That's crazy. I don't know. I feel like I understand some people will say that he's a very honest character, so it's kind of like, okay, boom, yeah, he has all this damage, boom, he's a legacy character, all that kind of stuff. But so many people have so many like tools and faster buttons that I kind of put it to old man syndrome. He's the guy, he's the old dude in the group. Like well, if you ever had a coworker that you worked with who's a little bit older than you, but he's still around, like he's still doing the job that you see like a lot of younger people will be doing. He's that guy that's still here, and you know, he knows the job, he knows everything about it, he knows it from the back of his hand and everything. Yet you respect him, and he's like OG, and that's pretty much how I feel about this too.
Let's compare Paul to another character who is similar in many ways, and that is Kazuya Mishima himself. Kazuya is another character who feels pretty similar to Tekken 7, and remains more or less the same, but has a couple huge advantages over Paul. Number one, and most obviously, he's the main antagonist of the story mode, and he's Kazuya freaking Mishima. He's always going to attract tons of new players. In addition to this, he's been made far more accessible for new players with a new Demon Paw attack, and to a much lesser extent, getting free electrics during heats. These simple changes made him a lot more accessible for new people who just liked him in the story and wanted to pick him up. And honestly, Kazuya is way more flashy and cool looking than Paul is now. It's easy to see why Kazuya remains around the top.
Because he has devil gene. He's not human, bro.
5. Paul just can't keep up with all this new crazy stuff going on in this game. And while part of me wishes the developers did more to modernize him to increase his popularity, another part of me really respects their decision to keep Paul as Paul. They want to have a legacy character in each game, and if Paul needs to fit that niche, then I can't blame them for making that decision. And yeah, that's what I discovered about Paul Phoenix. I had a lot of fun playing him for this video, and would definitely recommend you guys give him a shot. But unfortunately, as more crazy DLC characters come out, I can only see him going down in popularity. Unless they give him crazy buffs in a future patch and he
That's cool, because when you don't know the matchup, we get the dub.
becomes overpowered. It's really a shame to see a character fall from popularity this much, and I honestly doubt we'll see him much in pro play either. He's too hard and too simple. I mean, even in the end of Tekken 7, he was never a popular character in competitive play. But hey, if you love Paul Phoenix and have been playing him for decades and refuse to pick another character, then you have my utmost respect. Keep doing you. But what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think the only reason Paul has fallen off is because of the hair, and think I'm completely wrong about all my other reasons? Do you think there are other reasons that I didn't even mention? Let me know.
All right, I think that's the end of the video. So kudos to you, 𝐻𝐷𝐼𝐺, for this video. If you guys want to see more of their content, like I said before, feel free to check them out on their channel as well. I think they do a couple of other videos. I just remember I saw this one and I clicked on it and said, let me make a video. But when it comes down to it, yeah, Paul's a legacy character. He is what it is. He's one of those, like, that's why we say that's why I say it, and some other people say he's very honest. And you know, I continue to play him because he's fun. I feel very rewarded with certain things. Like, yeah, heat death fist, and then you get wall and you do quarter circle 1 into a full combo, and you just get like almost the full bar. That feels so good. Okay, I actually got a video that I'm making currently about how I'm playing with a couple of my audience in VC, and they were like, yo, this is straight bullying. And yeah, like I said before, I like to play bully characters. I like to play characters that if you press a button, you die. And a lot of people could probably say I should play Devil Jin and stuff like that, but again, if I don't know how to use the whole kit, if I can't use the whole kit, I'm not doing it. But guys, thank you so much for staying through the full video. If you again enjoy my content, this is your second reminder, please subscribe. This is also a reminder to please like. It helps me out with the algorithm. And also comment your thoughts below. Do you think Paul is an honest character? Do you think Paul is fun? Or do you just hate Paul in general? We could definitely go into discussion about a lot of characters that people do hate. But I look forward to seeing you guys in the next time. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. And until next time, Mazoku-Sensei out. I don't know why I did that.